Before you trust any hospital, before you celebrate any newborn, ask yourself this question. What if the baby you took home was not the baby you gave birth to? Tonight's story is not about sickness. It is not about mistakes. It is about one nurse who secretly decided destinies. Watch till the end.
This is a circle of African tales where African wisdom lives and every story has a lesson.
The night shift always belonged to Nana. Not officially, of course. The hospital schedule said she worked rotating hours like every other senior matron. But in reality, everyone knew that when Nana was on duty, things moved differently. Quieter, faster, cleaner, no mistakes, no noise, no questions. Silver Crest Women's Hospital sat in one of the most expensive parts of Lagos. Marble floors, glass walls, private suites for VIP deliveries. Politicians' wives came here, oil executives' mistresses, bankers' daughters, women who arrived in convoys and left with photographers waiting outside. And in the center of all of it stood Matron Nana. Late 40s, tall, calm, skin smooth, always glowing, braided wig tied neatly into a bun, makeup soft, expensive, uniform always spotless. Her voice never rose, her face never showed emotion. Doctors respected her, young nurses feared her, patients trusted her. They called her Mother of the Ward. But Nana did not see babies as children. She saw them as commodities. That particular night, rain fell gently against the hospital windows. The maternity floor was unusually busy. 4 deliveries ongoing, 2 VIP suites occupied, 1 general ward bed open. Nana walked slowly down the corridor, tablet in hand, heels silent on polished tiles. She glanced at the delivery board. Room 3, Mrs. Evelyn Ojo, wife of a shipping magnate, labor complicated, fetal distress. Room 7, Miss Linda Eze, primary school teacher, first pregnancy, normal delivery. Nana stopped. She studied both names again, then she smiled. Inside room 7, Linda screamed as the baby crowned. Sweat soaked her hairline. Her hands gripped the metal rails of the bed. "Push, madame, one more time," the junior nurse said nervously. Nana entered calmly. "Leave us," she said. The nurse obeyed immediately. Minutes later, the baby slid out perfect, cry strong, skin glowing, no deformities, no complications. A girl. Nana lifted the child gently, wiped her, wrapped her in a clean towel. She checked the tag on the mother's wrist, then the empty tag on the baby's ankle. She did not attach it yet. Instead, she placed the baby in a bassinet by the wall. "Congratulations," she told Linda softly. "Your baby is healthy. Rest." Then she walked out. Down the hall, room 3 was silent, too silent. Doctors stood around the bed, the air heavy. Machines beeped slowly. Mrs. Evelyn Ojo lay pale, exhausted, tears streaking her cheeks. The baby beside her did not cry. The monitor showed no heartbeat. Stillborn. The doctor sighed. "We lost her," he said quietly. "Severe cord strangulation." Mrs. Ojo began to shake. "My husband, he must not know," she whispered. "He will leave me. He said I must give him an heir." Nana stepped forward. "Doctor, allow me handle the paperwork," she said gently. He nodded, grateful. When they were alone, Nana closed the door. She approached the bed slowly. "Madame," she said, voice low, "there are ways to protect your marriage." Mrs. Ojo looked up confused. Nana did not explain. She simply took the stillborn child and walked out. No cameras covered the inner service corridor. No nurses passed that way at night. Nana moved between wards like a shadow. Inside the storage room, she placed the lifeless baby gently on a metal table. Then she went back to room 7. Linda slept, drugged from pain medication. The healthy baby lay quietly in the bassinet. Nana lifted her, carried her out. No alarms, no cries, no witnesses. 10 minutes later, Mrs. Ojo held a warm, breathing baby in her arms. She sobbed with relief. "My miracle," she whispered. The doctor returned later, confused but relieved. "Strange." Heartbeat resumed, he muttered. Papers were signed, birth certificate prepared, baby Ojo, female. Meanwhile, Linda woke up to emptiness. "Nurse, where is my baby?" she asked weakly. Nana entered, face calm, voice gentle. "I'm so sorry," she said softly. "Your baby did not survive delivery." Linda froze. "No, I heard her cry. I felt her move." Nana shook her head slowly. "Sometimes the body lies to protect the heart." Linda broke. By morning, Mrs. Ojo left the hospital smiling, photographers snapping pictures of the miracle child. Linda left 2 days later with a small box. Inside it, hospital clothes and a printed death certificate. She buried an empty grave. That was how Nana walked, and that was only one night. The business had rules. Only rich wives, only night shifts, only cash, never husbands, never doctors. Some women came because their babies were stillborn, some because the baby had deformities, some because the baby was the wrong gender. Nana did not judge, she only priced. 5 million naira for a stillborn replacement, 8 million for deformity exchange, 10 million for gender correction. Contracts were signed quietly, silence sworn, money paid in brown envelopes. She stored false records in a locked cabinet inside her office, birth logs rewritten, death reports forged, ID tags swapped. No system detected her because Nana controlled the system. Within 3 years, she bought 2 apartments, a new SUV, sponsored church programs, paid school fees for orphans. People praised her generosity. Nobody knew where the money came from. Until one night, something went wrong. A young woman named Sarah Obi arrived in labor, poor, nervous, alone. At the same time, the wife of a famous oil contractor delivered in VIP suite, stillborn again. Nana prepared the usual switch, but this time, the poor mother refused to sleep. She watched everything. She memorized the nurse's face, and before discharge, she secretly plucked a strand of her baby's hair and hid it in her bag. That small action would later destroy Matron Nana's empire. But that night, Nana returned to her office calmly. She opened the metal cabinet, placed the 2 swapped tags inside, locked it, and whispered to herself, smiling.
This is how Matron Nana began switching babies.
The first woman came to Nana on a Wednesday. Not crying, not begging, not desperate, just careful. Her name was Mrs. Helen Nwanko, wife of a hotel investor, always dressed in silk, diamonds on every finger. She waited until the ward was quiet, then knocked softly on Nana's office door. "Matron," she said politely, "I was told you help women." Nana did not answer immediately. She closed her laptop, removed her glasses, studied the woman from head to toe. "Help with what?" she asked. Mrs. Nwanko lowered her voice. "My scan says the baby has deformities. My husband will never accept it. I cannot bring shame into my home." Silence stretched between them. Nana stood up slowly and locked the door. From that night, the business began. Not loudly, not quickly, carefully. Nana never advertised. She never approached first. The women always came to her. Through whispers in saloons, through church women groups, through doctors' wives who pretended to not know. The rules were simple. Only rich wives, never husbands, never doctors, never daylight. All meetings happened after midnight. Inside Nana's small office at the back of the maternity wing, behind shelves of files and drug cabinets, she kept a second ledger, handwritten, coded, hidden inside a false drawer. Every client signed a contract. No names, no witnesses, no copies. Just fingerprints and cash. Payment was always upfront. 5 million, 8 million, sometimes 12. Brown envelopes. No transfers, no banks. And one sentence always written at the bottom. Total silence binds us forever. The types of exchanges became known quietly among the women. Stillborn replacement. When a rich woman lost her baby in labor, Nana replaced it with a healthy baby from a poor mother whose child was declared dead. Deformity correction. When scans showed defects, Nana waited for a perfect baby from the general ward and switched. Gender correction. When the ultrasound showed a girl, but the husband demanded a boy, Nana made sure the delivery ended with the right blessing. The husbands never knew. They stood outside labor rooms, pacing, praying, calling pastors, making promises to God. Inside, Destiny was being edited by one nurse. The doctors never knew. They trusted Nana completely. She handled tags, she handled records, she handled discharge forms. She trained most of the junior nurses herself. Nobody questioned her handwriting. Nobody checked her cabinets. Within 2 years, Nana was no longer just a nurse. She became powerful. She bought a penthouse in Lekki, a black Prado SUV, imported wigs from Dubai, gold watches, designer uniforms stitched specially for her. On Sundays, she donated heavily to church, sponsored medical outreaches, paid hospital bills for strangers, fed orphans publicly. People called her Angel of Mercy. They did not know her mercy had a price. Inside the VIP ward, the women treated her like royalty. Matron, you saved my marriage. Matron, my husband worships our son. Matron, God will bless you. Nana accepted blessings quietly. She did not believe in blessings. She believed in systems. But systems always create cracks. The first crack came from the woman called Sarah, the poor teacher, the one whose baby had been swapped months earlier. She did not scream. She did not protest. She only remembered. She remembered the baby's cry, strong, sharp, very alive. But the nurse had told her the child was dead. Weeks later, while cleaning classrooms, she had a radio announcement. Business tycoon welcomes baby girl at Silvercrest Hospital. She froze. The baby's cry played briefly in the background of the news video, and Sarah felt something cold move through her stomach. That cry, it sounded exactly like her baby. She began to ask questions quietly. At first, only among cleaners. Do babies sometimes cry after dying? The cleaners laughed. Then among junior nurses, can death certificates be wrong? They shrugged. One young intern whispered, Matron handles most of that. Sarah went home and opened her bag. She removed the small strand of hair she had hidden. She stared at it for a long time. Then she went to a private clinic and paid for a DNA preservation test. She did not know what she was looking for. She only knew something was wrong. Meanwhile, Nana's clients kept increasing. One night, 3 rich wives waited in her office. One wanted to fix a stillbirth, one wanted to change gender, one wanted to remove a deformity. Nana handled all 3 calmly. That same night, she made her first mistake. Small, very small. She forgot to destroy one original birth tag. It slipped behind a drawer. She did not notice. 2 weeks later, a memo arrived from hospital management. Internal audit and record verification will begin next month. Routine, normal, but Nana felt something tighten in her chest. Audits meant outsiders. Outsiders meant records. Records meant questions. That evening, she returned to her office after shift. She opened the hidden drawer, checked the ledger, checked the contracts, checked the tags, and then she saw it. One tag missing, not missing, misplaced, behind the drawer. Her handwriting, a name she recognized, Sarah Obi, the poor teacher. For the first time in 15 years, Nana's hands trembled, because for the first time, there was proof. And somewhere in the city, a woman was beginning to remember.
The delivery that destroyed everything happened on a stormy Friday night. Not planned, not scheduled, not part of Nana's careful system. It was emergency. The call came at 11:47 p.m. Matron, VIP case in theater 2. Senator's wife just arrived, severe bleeding. Nana straightened her uniform immediately. The name alone carried weight. Senator Gabriel Lawson, powerful, untouchable, always in the news. His wife, Mrs. Eleanor Lawson, had been on bed rest for months. Everyone knew the pregnancy was fragile. Inside the operating theatre, doctors rushed, monitors beeped, blood was everywhere. The baby came too early. When the child finally emerged, the room went silent. The baby was alive, but badly deformed, spine twisted, limbs incomplete, breathing weak. The doctor swallowed hard. "This child may not survive long," he said gently. Mrs. Lawson turned her head slowly. She did not cry, she did not scream. She looked straight at Nana and whispered one sentence: "Fix this." Nana hesitated, not because she could not, because there was no prepared replacement. This delivery was not planned, but almost immediately another call came. "General ward delivery starting now. Young teacher, first pregnancy, baby stable." Nana felt her pulse rise. Perfect timing, too perfect. She walked fast. Inside the general ward, a young woman lay on the bed, sweating, breathing hard. Her name tag read Dr. Miriam Damilola, hospital laboratory staff. Not rich, not poor, educated, sharp eyes. The delivery went smoothly. Strong baby girl, healthy lungs, perfect limbs. The baby cried loudly, a cry full of life. Miriam smiled weakly. "My daughter," she whispered. Nana moved quickly. She cleaned the baby, wrapped her, tagged her, and when the lights dimmed, she switched, just like she had done hundreds of times before. The perfect baby went to the senator's wife. The deformed baby was placed beside Miriam. Documents adjusted, files rewritten, records sealed, routine. But this time, Nana missed something. Miriam was not an ordinary patient. She worked in the hospital laboratory and she had watched. Not everything, but enough. She noticed Nana entering twice. She noticed the delay between cleaning and tagging. She noticed the nurse change gloves when she should not have, and something in her refused to settle. That night, before discharge, Miriam did something quiet. She requested a routine blood test for her baby. Hospital policy allowed it, but when the junior nurse turned away, Miriam secretly collected a second blood spot sample. She hid it inside her handbag, just in case. At the senator's mansion, celebration exploded. Journalists, politicians, pastors, flowers everywhere. The baby girl was named Amara Lawson. Everyone praised God. But 3 weeks later, the baby began to fail. Strange seizures, breathing problems, muscle stiffness. Doctors were confused. The disease was rare, genetic, inherited. But both senator and wife tested negative. Impossible. The specialist insisted. This condition does not appear randomly. One of the parents must carry the gene. The senator became angry. Test again. They tested again. Still negative. Quietly, the hospital ordered a confidential DNA test. Not for scandal, for clarity. 2 days later, the result arrived and froze the doctor. Amara Lawson was not biologically related to either parent. Not mother, not father. The report was sealed immediately. Hospital management panicked. At the same time, the internal audit team began their work. Old files were pulled, stillborn records, death certificates, discharge logs, and patterns appeared. Too many stillbirths in general ward, too many perfect babies in VIP. One auditor whispered, "These numbers don't match." Another found missing signatures, and then they found Sarah Obi's file. Declared stillborn, but no burial record, no death certificate copy, only Nana's handwriting. The head auditor requested CCTV footage. Routine. Delivery corridor cameras from months ago. Security protested. Those cameras rarely work, but one clip survived from the night of Miriam's delivery. Greeny, short, but clear. Timestamp 11:53 p.m. It showed Nana entering theater 2. Timestamp 11:57 p.m. It showed Nana exiting carrying a wrapped baby. 2 minutes later, she entered the general ward. 4 minutes later, she exited again carrying a baby, different size, different blanket. The auditor replayed it slowly, once, twice, 3 times, and said one sentence. Why did she carry 2 babies in 6 minutes? At the same time, Miriam sat in her small apartment, staring at the test results she had secretly ordered with the blood sample she had saved. The envelope shook in her hands. The results said, probability of maternity 0%. Her baby was not her baby. Miriam did not scream. She did not faint. She picked up her phone calmly and called one number. My baby was swapped. The first knock came quietly, not from police, not from journalists, from a woman. Miriam arrived at the hospital early the next morning, holding her discharge file and the DNA report inside her bag. She went straight to the head of maternity. Her voice was calm. "My baby is not mine." At first they smiled. They thought it was trauma. They thought it was fear. Until she placed the DNA report on the table. The room changed. Within hours, another woman arrived, then another. One said her stillborn baby's face looked too peaceful. One said her child cried differently after discharge. One said her husband's blood group did not match the child. The audit team widened the investigation. Not 1 month, 5 years. Delivery books were reopened, old logs checked, discharge records compared, and the pattern was now clear. 7 healthy babies were missing. 7. 3 deformed babies were found living quietly in private clinics outside Lagos. 2 poor mothers had buried empty coffins. They had cried over blankets filled with stones. The hospital went into crisis. Doctors were shocked. Nurses were confused. Management denied everything, but the evidence kept growing. Every trail, every altered file, every forged signature led to one name: Matron Nana. At first, she denied. She laughed. These women are confused. But when the CCTV clip was played for the board, she stopped laughing. Police were called. Quietly. No sirens, no uniforms. 2 officers walked into the maternity ward at noon. Nana was supervising delivery as usual, giving instructions, correcting nurses, still powerful, still respected. The inspector approached. "Matron Nana, we need to ask you a few questions." She smiled. "After my shift." He nodded and brought out the handcuffs. The ward went silent. Nurses froze. Patients stared. When the cuffs closed around her wrists for the first time in 20 years, Nana said nothing. At the station, everything collapsed. The senator's wife confessed. 3 rich women confessed. Some tried to bribe, some tried to deny, some booked private flights and vanished overnight. Marriages broke. 1 minister resigned. 2 wealthy homes shut their gates permanently. In court, the truth poured out. 7 babies returned to their real mothers, some after 3 years, some after 5, some after birth defects had already formed. 3 mothers collapsed when they held their children again. 2 women screamed when they learned the babies they buried never died. 1 woman fainted when she saw her daughter for the first time at age 4. Doctors cried, judges shook their heads, and Nana stood in the dock. No wig, no uniform, no gold chain, just a tired woman. 1 former client tried to testify for her. The judge silenced her. These children are not property. The prosecutor read the charges slowly. Child trafficking, medical fraud, destruction of evidence, murder by negligence, illegal adoption, conspiracy. Nana looked straight ahead. She did not beg. She did not cry. She did not explain. The judge spoke once. Life imprisonment. No parole, no mercy, no reduction. The gavel struck, and the woman who once controlled destinies was led away in silence. Years later, the hospital changed its systems, more cameras, more audits, more blood checks, but the damage remained. Some families reunited, some marriages never healed, some children grew up confused, and one sentence stayed in the minds of everyone who heard the story. Sometimes, the hands that welcome life are the same hands that steal it. Would you forgive a nurse who stole your child? Should the rich parents go to jail too, or only Nana? Can a stolen child ever truly belong again?
Every story carries a lesson, and if this one touched you in any way, let it guide your heart and inspire your journey. I hope you enjoyed this African folktale. If you did, please subscribe to this channel for more amazing, life-changing stories. Don't forget to like, share, and drop a comment. And if you want more, the next story is already waiting for you on your screen. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you. See you in the next video.